All right, y'all, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business today. Gonna see if it has BSS for its one main Google search, local and city search combined of Tulia, Texas. All right, so we're out here in the GBC universe again, where we bring declining boudoir photographers to the number one boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, aka full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pinned video, home video on the profile, whatever. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our intent spectrum here, in white, high on the left, low on the right. And if a boudoir photographer is rising, they're probably bringing in peeps from the entire intent spectrum, from high intent to low or no intent. At least bringing them in awareness, even if they're low or no intent, awareness that we exist. And if we have a boudoir photographer business that's falling, they're probably missing chunks somewhere here on the intent spectrum. So here we talk about BSS. We're way over on the left side. Highest intent peeps. This is social search and Google search. Search on social networks for boudoir photo shoot in my city. See on Google search, the highest intent keyword searches. And over on the right, that's our other sister brand, different profiles. Boudoir FB ad doctor. So we're talking about BLCS. Talking about BLCS, kind of a niche problem there, niche pain. And right now, we currently only deal with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month on boudoir Facebook ads. And, that side on the right, that's the lowest intent peeps, interruption ads, Facebook, Instagram. They have no intent for boudoir right now. Next, moving on, we got BSS, boudoir search sameness. That's what it is. That means a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. If we got 0 slots, we're basically dead. Because we have, we've already talked about approximately 80% of Google searches never reach page 2. They're page 1 only searches. So approximately 80% of searches, aka the bulk of the market, is page 1 only. So if we're on page 2, we're basically dead. Page 1, that's if we got 1 slot on page 1, that's still not enough. If there's not, there's 10 organic slots. There's one or one out of. If there's 9 other boudoir photographers, everyone else got 1 slot. Then a buyer's just clicking down all of page 1. Basically never gonna go to page 2. Open up everyone's website, gonna compare, contrast, price shop all these boudoir photographers. And as a result, we're still basically invisible because we're being price shopped so much. So we know that 0 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. Common, but it's not normal. Dude, it's not normal to have that many, those few slots on page 1 when Google actually wants to give us way more to those that want to take them. So 0 1 slots on page 1 Google is not normal is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation, which basically everyone understands, but also newly, the false belief of page 1 equality, which basically nobody understands yet. So market saturation, that seems like every week someone get a new iPhone, we see them throwing out their Google My Business profile, their website. Now they say they do boudoir, they're a boudoir photographer. Or they get a new camera, they're posting in the mom groups. They also do boudoir photo shoots now. So that's market saturation. Also, COVID, tons of new peeps came into the marketplace because nobody could work. People lost their jobs. But again, everyone's got a phone with a great camera, so bringing in a ton more peeps to become boudoir photographers. Now, the false belief of page 1 equality, this is a big one. This is what I've seen is the number 1 killer of boudoir photography businesses. This is where everyone, well, if everyone believes it, kind of automatically, implicitly, this is where, they're kind of like, everyone gets either 0 1 slots on page 1 of Google. And so, I had, a slot number 8 on Google. The boudoir photographer ranked above me. I got kicked down to slot 10. And, it is what it is because every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots on Google. And there's basically nothing I can do about it. This is 100% incorrect. Google actually will give as many page 1 slots as possible to those who actually want the page 1 slots. And I know this because I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 Google organic search in 10 days. So I know Google gives these slots out to the people that want to take them. And as a result, if people believe this page 1 equality is true, then they never kind of break out of the box and look for solutions. And, well, there were no real good solutions before. But now we got one, which you'll see that in two pictures from here. So we also know that boudoir photographer with BSS, with boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer, a DBP. So micro universe stick and shape, a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the two horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. Thankfully, though, we finally have a solution. We know that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And how do we know that? Because we invented it. And so it works exactly as it says. S cubed methodology, social search saturation. We saturate social search with our highest intent, highest demand keywords for highest intent buyers, what they would be searching on Google. To saturate social search, so we show up for all those. It's kind of like the backside of the Andes Mountains, all the small streams and rivers, then flow into the large Amazon River. These then eventually all flow into Google, page one Google search. But the initial upstream is ranking high, page one social search across all the four major social networks. Now, S-cubed methodology, this is the only thing that I've seen that can successfully, for boudoir photographers, it's the only thing I've seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation. Literally the only thing. And as a result, we, basically as a result, that's the only thing that gets us results relatively quickly, because the only other thing I've seen actually successfully outcompete is market saturation having a brand. But dude, that takes like 5 years minimum, more like 10 years. So because AI is coming, taking people's jobs, we ain't got 5 or 10 years anymore. We got to move ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. And S-cubed methodology is that vehicle. So, imagine we got a million boudoir photographers in Omaha, Nebraska. We're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they're boudoir photographers. So everyone's ranking there. And as a result, we are competing with all these boudoir photographers for page one. So we say, you know what? Screw this. The only chance we got of competing here is cranking S-cubed methodology up to the max. And luckily, I was working with no one else in Omaha, so you could actually hire me. So we crank it up to the max, and let's say we are successfully, we're ranking the first 300 slots, page one of, search and all these social networks. Well, not even page one, but that's like a lot more pages than page one. But the first 300 slots, we're taking them up, and as a result, we are there's a small rivers that flow into page one Google. So we're taking the first 300 organic slots on Google as well. And there's 10 organic slots per page. So we're literally taking the first 30 pages, all the organic slots from them. And so anytime anyone in our city searches with the boudoir photographer with those high intent keywords, they are basically anywhere they look. They're basically only finding us. Now, for organic search, they could go to page 31 to essentially start finding our competitors. But dude, we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. They're page 1 search only. So who the heck's hitting page 31? Basically nobody. So as a result, even though there are a million boudoir, 999,999 other boudoir photographers and us competing against us, since we captured social search and Google search for the highest intent keywords, we're basically the only one that's being found. So whose business is the only one growing as a result? Our business. Out of all million boudoir photographers. So that's what we mean what I mean when I say this is the only thing I've discovered other than brand that can successfully compete against market saturation. Compete against and still grow the business. Now, once we treat BSS with S-cubed methodology, we have page one visibility. And boom, we get an instant bonus benefit, an initial benefit, which is for every new slot we acquire on page one, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page one, effectively making them invisible. So this is awesome because, hey, we're getting more slots on page one. We get, more of, out of 10 attention because there's 10 slots, increasing our attention. But actually, we're decreasing the number of boudoir photographers we're competing against because we're kicking a new one off every time we rank another, we get another slot on there. That's an initial benefit initially right off the bat using S-cubed methodology. Now, page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. BSV, we have a GBC minimum here, recommended minimum of reaching 3 out of 10 slots on page one Google search, because basically everyone else will have one slot. So if Google's recommended us 3 times, buyers can be like, well, what the hell? Why does Google recommend this person? They must be good. They may even click to us, only us, and not even look at the other options on page one. But in addition, there's a tiny chance another boudoir photographer has 2 slots on page one. So if we got 3 slots, we're out competing everyone that has 0, 1, or 2 slots on page 1 of Google search. Now we also know that Boudoir photographer with BSV, with Boudoir search visibility, is a visible Boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got our full micro universe here. A disappearing Boudoir photographer with Boudoir search sameness is caused by the two horns of market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. Now we use S-cubed methodology. We finally have a solution. Thank the universe. Page 1 visibility. We achieve page 1 visibility. We become a visible Boudoir photographer with Boudoir search visibility. Now my results. So myself, purely using S-cubed methodology, I'm going to rank for the term BLCS Boudoir. And come down to organic. Organic results, we got organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Organic slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. And slot 10 is also me. And I did this in 10 days. I went from 0 out of 10 slots, Google Organic, page 1. And I got up to 9 out of 10 slots, Google Organic, page 1, in only 10 days. So these are my own results utilizing S-cubed methodology. Now the main event here, we're going to look at this Boudoir photography business and check out, see if they got BSS for their local and their city search. Actually, they're in one. This time, Tulia, Texas. I think it's in between Dallas and Amarillo, Texas, but they call it Amarillo. So let's check here. So here we go. Let's go roll to the organic slot. So here's what we got. We got slot 1. We got slot 2. Boom, slot 3. Boom, slot 4. Slot 5. Slot 6. Slot 7. And all right, dude, we got 7 out of 10. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We say page 1 dominance starts at 8 out of 10, so almost 8 out of 10 slots here. But dude, imagine, dude, they just kicked off 6 or 7 other competing with the photographers to be price shopped against for the 80% of searches on Google. Fantastic. This is what we want. This is what we want. Tulia, Texas. And yeah, we don't have this local city search combined. So boom, perfect. This Boudoir photography business does not have BSS, Boudoir search sameness, for their local/city Google search, and they also have exceeded the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots Google page 1 organic search. So fantastic, fantastic. This is what we all wanna get to. So if you are a disappearing Boudoir photographer and you actually want to, so you did the local search for yourself, highest intent buyer keywords for Boudoir photo shoot in your city, and you saw it, and you did a local search and city search, and either you had BSS Boudoir search sameness, or you simply did not reach the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots on page 1 in Google for either one or both of those searches. And you finally see that S-cubed methodology is your one path, your one solution forward out of everything. And you came to that conclusion because you realized, yeah, the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that. It's false. So you broke through. Now you're like, okay, what are the ways I can take as many slots on page 1 on Google as possible? And you realize Google PPC ads ain't going to cut it because they only give you 1 extra slot, PPC at the top, even if there's 2 slots available. And the momentum dies once you stop paying. With S-cubed saturation, there is still momentum. Not infinite momentum, but there's still momentum with the strategy that will, keep the positions for a time. And so you like that. You like that you can get way more slots on page 1 than having, doing Google PPC. And you also understand the market saturation. Yeah, the 2 prongs. Someone gets a new phone, iPhone, someone gets a new camera. Yeah. But they see this 3rd prong coming. And the 3rd prong you actually care about is, the 3rd prong you actually care about is the AI taking people's jobs, as people still got to earn money, and everyone's got to, a smartphone with a great camera on it, it's going to be forcing way, way, way more boudoir photographers into the market, or at least way, way, way more people into the market to offer boudoir photography. Maybe they're new boudoir photographers. And so you like the initial benefits, getting more slots on Google. You like the initial extra benefit of kicking competitors off page one of Google so that they're relegated to page two, effectively invisible to approximately 80% of Google searches. Makes them disappear. They become a disappearing boudoir photographer, which means in short order their business will be disappearing as well. And you actually want the fortification benefits to prepare for AI bringing more and more boudoir photographers into the marketplace. And when you do that, again, executed methodology is the only solution that allows boudoir photographers to do that. It's kind of like building a levee like New Orleans has, because it's below sea level, so they build a the sandbag levee, keep the ocean out. And so you decide you're going to do this for your boudoir photography business. Keep the ocean of supply of boudoir photographers out of your turf, page one of Google. So CNSQ methodology is literally the only solution for you. Decide this is what you want to do to move forward with your business, to achieve page one visibility, to become a visible boudoir photographer, to have boudoir search visibility, because you know you need these things in order to become the number one boudoir photographer in your city. And you also like the secret backend benefits of the SQ methodology as well that we have not talked about yet. But the first one's being every single day we successfully execute SQ methodology, what's actually happening is we're building these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our business, attached to our brand, attached to our website name, kind of our full name, our business name. And these only live in the AI mindshare, kind of the AI brain. And every day we successfully execute methodology, we're actually increasing the probability that we show up as in the premium slot, the one boudoir photographer recommended in the AI overview here at the top of Google search. So that's one extended benefit, or further away benefit. The second further away benefit is, again, every day we successfully execute methodology, we're increasing the probability all these different AI search options recommend us in their, in AI search. When someone's AI searching for boudoir photographer in their city, this is ChatGPT, Claude, Anthropic, and Microsoft Copilot, and Google Gemini. We're increasing the probability we get recommended these every day we do SQ methodology because we're building the invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our business, columns of the Parthenon, building Athens, Greece, or think of it, hub and spoke, building these spokes off our business. And this is like invisible mind share for AI. And you're also seeing, you decide you're going to be the early adopter, first adopter in your city because A, my plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city, so you can close out all your competitors from using me by you hopping in with me. And B, that the more we execute daily on execute methodology, that the bigger initial benefits we get instantly, and also the bigger back-end momentum, AI mindshare benefits we get over time, creating a massive gap between you and all your competitors that they're basically never going to be able to catch up on. And so you decide to be a first mover in your city on that because the converse is if a competitor works with me first, then they're going to be getting all those benefits, initial benefits, kicking you off page one, making you disappear, building up the AI mindshare in the back end. And for you to compete, you would have to rederive SQ methodology, which you'll never be 100% confident you've derived it correctly, to use correctly. You will have to then go execute SQ methodology equal to us executing every day with your competitor. And again, you'll never be 100% confident. So you probably most likely won't put in the effort to equal us. But even if you do, you equal our effort, okay, you're maintaining the gap that we've already built. So the gap being the same distance. So you'd have to double or triple our effort, our execution, utilizing SQ methodology, which I invented, to close the gap on us. Who's got that time? Who's got 80 hours in a day to do all that? So you decide, screw all that. It's better to simply be the first mover in my city, and let's actually lock this in and start getting these initial benefits and the delayed benefits, the invisible mindshare AI and the AI brain benefits. So that's you. Shoot me a DM. When my DM's open, my DMs are currently not open. The hospital is not currently accepting new patients. But if you when I do open the DMs, when I do open the hospital for new patient intake, shoot me a DM. We will see if you qualify for using S cubed methodology.